Imagine you open a tiny pizza shop. You paint the walls, you buy a used oven, you put out chairs, you finally unlock the door. On day one, a strange customer walks in. They do not look at the menu, they look at your window, your cash register, your front door, they smile, and they offer help. The help is weird. Pay me every week, and I will make sure nothing bad happens to your shop. Here's the secret. They are not selling safety. They are selling relief. And today, we'll show how that turns into a business model. With pricing, with territories, with receipts, and with one product, predictability. It sounds crazy, but it makes sense once you understand the math of fear. Let's keep it super simple. A small business needs three things: customers, products, routine. Routine is boring until it breaks. Routine is open, sell, close, restock. Again and again. When routine turns into chaos, the business dies. The most valuable fear is not a huge fear. It is a constant fear. Because constant fear changes behavior, a business owner can survive one bad day, but they cannot survive endless surprises. Now think like a seller. If you want steady money, you want recurring payments, low cancellations, predictable growth. That is what subscriptions are. Streaming, gym memberships, internet. But this subscription is different. You do not pay to get something good. You pay to avoid something bad. Avoiding bad things is a powerful motivation. The key word today is predictability. Predictability means I know what tomorrow looks like. And so do criminals who want stable income. A fixed weekly fee buys one thing: a normal week. There is also a psychology trick. A shady cash handoff feels like crime, but a bill feels normal. So the payment gets dressed up. It can look like a security fee, a service, a parking arrangement, a consulting invoice. When it looks normal, it goes into the spreads. Now we reach the business mechanics. We are not going to do movie stuff. We are going to do economics. Imagine a simple cartoon company. It has a territory, collectors, rules, a product, a goal, and here is the scary part. They can use the same tools as real businesses. Not every shop pays the same cash flow. So the pricing changes. Small store, small fee. Busy restaurant, bigger fee. Big business, much bigger fee. This is basic business. Now the packages: basic, the minimum to avoid headaches, plus faster help. Basic, plus, or premium gets special treatment. The premium plan does not sell more safety. It sells less stress. This sounds weird, but listen. Some systems create service rules. Pay late equals more pressure, complain equals high risk. They do this for one reason: organization increases profit. So why is it so hard to stop paying? Because stopping has a cost. In economics, this is a switching cost. When you pay, you are inside the circle. When you stop, you are outside. Humans hate being outside the group. So when everyone pays, the non-payer stands out. And standing out attracts attention. Movies show big violence first, but a revenue model prefers something else. It prefers control. Big chaos is bad for business. It brings headlines. It brings police. It brings risk. So pressure can start small, just enough to teach a lesson. The goal is not to destroy the customer. The goal is to keep the customer paying. Now we get to the most dangerous phase. When many businesses pay, it becomes the way things are. It becomes a silent fixed cost, like rent, like electricity, like internet.
Yeah, everyone pays that.
That sentence turns fear into culture. Here is something most people do not expect. These networks can prefer stability because stability creates predictable income. If two groups fight over one street, businesses close. If businesses close, no one pays. So there can be an incentive to divide territory. It looks like a cartel. Even crime, when it becomes a system, starts to look like a spreadsheet. Now the economics hits. If a shop has an extra cost every week, it has 3 options: raise prices, cut costs, close. This spreads pain. Customers pay more, workers get fewer hours, neighborhoods lose services. Over time, the street gets quieter. Less competition, less growth. In the end, the invisible fee works like a tax with no benefits. When illegal money appears, it often needs to look normal to be used safely. That can create weird businesses, places that exist but do not make sense, or businesses that can survive without real profit. NARAR 01. Why does this matter? Because it breaks fair competition. A normal store must earn real profit. A money-hiding store can operate like it does not care about profit. And when competition becomes fake, the market becomes a stage play. Now, a hard truth, many shop owners stay quiet, not because they are weak, because they are doing math. They have families, staff, loans, bills. They weigh the risk. They think, if I speak, I become the target. Silence is not just fear. Silence is risk management. And that is why the system loves silence. It turns a neighborhood into separate islands. One owner, one shop, one problem. Every system like this has a weakness. It needs isolation. It needs each business to feel alone. The turning point is when isolation breaks. This can happen in 3 broad ways: coordination, visibility, disruption. The climax is not always a chase. Sometimes the climax is a sentence. I will stop treating this like a normal bill. But the system tests that decision because fear is their product. So they try to prove they still control the weather. The real battle is simple. Does fear keep its monopoly? Or does coordination break it? Let's land the plane. Protection money becomes a business model when fear is constant, payments are recurring, pricing is flexible, territory is controlled, silence is enforced. And the product is predictability. But there is one massive difference from real business. A real business survives by creating value. This model survives by controlling harm. They sell umbrellas by making it rain. If you want more animated documentaries that explain the hidden business logic behind crime and money, subscribe and comment what we should break down next: accounting fraud, Ponzi schemes, or fintech scams.